Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. In today's beginner yoga session, we will walk you through a variety of simple common yoga postures. This gentle practice involves holding poses to generate heat while stretching those muscles, giving you a great low impact workout. So grab your mat and let's get started. We're going to begin in Sukhasana, easy seat. You are welcome to sit on a block or blanket if you would like, if that's more comfortable to you. Just sitting up nice and tall, let's check in with our posture. Pull the ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Let your hands just rest on your thighs. And take a deep breath in and let it out. Feel the tension drain away from your shoulders. If you're comfortable, close your eyes and just continue breathing. And with your eyes closed, while you're breathing, just turn your palms up, upward facing on your thighs. Pull your elbows into your ribs. Bring your first finger and thumb together, connecting the brain, the body. Feel your breath. Taking a moment for yourself. This practice is for you. Take another deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Go ahead and bring the palms together in front of heart space, thumbs touching the sternum. Lengthen through the spine, draw the chin to the chest, feeling the nice stretch through the back of the neck. And then bring your head back to neutral. You can blink your eyes open if you'd like. We're going to rotate the palm down. The fingers are still touching the palms together, just a little stretch. So the thumbs come to the sternum, and then the fingers rotate towards the lap, and then back up a couple times. Just notice if there's any stiffness in the wrists. Then bring the hands back up. We're going to separate the hands, bring the palms so they're facing up, almost like you're going to hand something to someone. And then you're going to scoop upward. So you're turning your palms down and then bringing them up. So the thumbs come in and then up. Like you're doing a scooping motion, just with the wrist though. Let's isolate just the wrist. Before we can, it's easier we do the whole arm, but let's just do the wrist. And then as you rotate those wrists in a circle, start to extend the arms out to the side. So just bringing mobility to the wrist area all the way out. And then when you get out there, we're going to change rotation, go circle the opposite way. So you're circling the thumbs in and down. And bringing those arms all the way back in together. And then when we get back to center, switch again, circle the palms upward, and start to direct the arms out to the side. And then reverse and come back into center. It's a great way to warm up the wrists, the palms for our practice. And then bring the palms back together, pressing the fingertips and the palms, thumbs to heart space. Lift and lengthen, separate those fingers. You're pressing them together but pulling them apart. And then rotate those fingertips towards the earth again. Just feel a different stretch. It might feel a little easier now. And then bring the hand back up. And then one more time. Take it down and then back up. And then reach those arms out to the side. And then gently just sway to the right and to the left, letting the palms gently touch the earth. Noticing what's going on in the side of the body, keeping the hips and the knees down. Just gently leaning, shifting. Now, as we come to the right side, let the hand plant on the floor. Reach your left arm overhead, over to the right, over the ear. Bend that right elbow, soften that right shoulder, and just breathe. Keeping that left hip down, one more breath. Now slowly rotate so the other hand comes down, left hand on the floor, right hand up and over, reaching over the ear, side bending to the left, Bend your left elbow, relax your left shoulder. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, come all the way up nice and tall. Let's twist to the right. So you're going to reach your right hand behind, left hand to the thigh, lengthen, lift and twist. Look over your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, go ahead and let the legs go, twisting to the left. Reach your right hand towards your left thigh, left hand on the floor behind you, twist and look over your left shoulder. Take a deep breath in, and then let it out, and go ahead and release back to center. And then go ahead and straighten out your legs to the front. So we're just going to give them a shake, sit up nice and tall, find your Dandasana, your staff or stick pose. And then you're going to take your right leg, you're going to bend the knee, and you're going to take your right foot over the top of your left thigh, placing it on the floor. Take your left arm, wrap it around your right thigh. You're flexing through your left ankle. Take your right hand behind you, lift and twist towards that bent knee. So you're really stretching through the hip and the glute. Take a deep breath in. Feel the belly press against the thigh, and then exhale out, relaxing those shoulders. One more breath. And then we're going to come back to center, counter stretch. So bring your right elbow on the inside of the right knee, palm is open, left arm behind you, lift and twist. So wringing out the body. This is good when we twist. It's very good for digestion. To get us moving. We're going to release, come back to center. Go ahead and take that leg back on the inside of the thigh and just let that right knee fall open. And lift and lengthen. Nice and tall, reaching both arms up overhead. And then exhale, forward fold, reaching for those left toes. Do not worry if you cannot reach the toes. You can always let your hands rest on the floor. You can hold under the knee, the calf, you can hold the ankle. And as you're leaning forward towards that knee, just notice where you're feeling this. Maybe it's in the low back on the opposite side. Maybe it's the hamstring or the calf. Take another breath in, and this time we're going to let the head fall towards the knee. And as you hold the stretches and you breathe into them, you're going to notice the muscle and the tissue start to relax. You might feel the tension starting to melt away. Never force the stretch. Give it time. Give the body time to adapt to it. Another breath in. And then on the exhale, go ahead and reach the arms all the way up to the sky, as high as you can, and then just a gentle right and left reach up. And let those arms drift all the way down. Go ahead and release the right leg to the front, sit up tall. Just notice the difference. You might feel some sensations running through the legs. That's that tissue hydrating. It's very good for the body. We're going to bend the left knee, and we're going to bring that left foot across the right thigh, still flexing that right foot. This time the right arm is going to wrap around that left knee. Reach your left arm back behind you, lift and lengthen and twist towards that bent knee. Maybe look over your right shoulder. And as you breathe in, feel the belly expanding and pushing into the thigh. As you exhale, feel the shoulders relax. It's a delicious stretch. Feeling that glute and hip stretching and moving. One more breath. Inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to release. We're going to bring the left arm on the inside of the left knee. Counter stretch. Bring your right arm behind you. Lift and lengthen. Again, still flexing that right foot. Look over your left shoulder. One more breath, inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to come back to center. Then bring your left foot on the inside of the thigh. Go ahead and let that left knee fall open. Flexing that right foot. And I didn't mention on the other side, but if the knee is really high and it doesn't want to go down, please throw a block or pillow underneath your thigh so your hip has some support. We're going to reach both arms up to the sky. Flex the foot, forward fold. Reaching for that foot. Now one side might be way easier than the other. That's okay. It means you're normal. We just observe, just reaching to wherever it feels comfortable. Again, not forcing the stretch. Give your body time to adapt. Nice and tall through the spine. Let your body melt a little deeper after each exhale. And then let your head gently fall towards the knee. And just breathe. Feeling the lengthening of that tissue through the back of the thigh, maybe through the low back on the right side or left side now. One more breath. And then we're going to inhale, reach those arms up. And then just reach the right arm up, reach the left arm up, a little side to side. And then go ahead and let those arms come all the way back down. Let's straighten out the legs and just give them a shake. Just feel that sensation. You might even feel some coolness into the toes, some blood flow. So we're going to transition here to what we call tabletop. You're welcome to bring your legs to the side, or you can even cross them and bring the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. And we're going to spread out those fingers. So the index fingers are pointing to the front of the mat, thumbs towards each other. Knees under the hips and wrist underneath the shoulders. Pressing the tops of your feet into the mat. Let's round through the back. Draw the chin to the chest. Nice exhale. And then inhale, lift the head, lift the tailbone, arch the back for cat-cow. And again, cat-cow, rounding through the back. And inhale, cow, arching the back. Let's do 2 more of those. Exhale, round, pushing through the tops of the feet. And inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Finishing up with an inhale, extend. And then finding your neutral spine. So really relax those shoulders, pull them away from the ears. I want you to feel your belly pulling gently to the spine, but no rounding the back. You want to keep that neutral spine, looking at your thumbs on the floor. Let's transition to extended tabletop. So right arm is going to extend forward, thumb is up. Left toes, you can extend them to the back of the mat, and then lift that straight leg up. Flexing through the foot, the ankle, toes point towards the floor. Just feel this nice stretch, really reaching your heel to the back, fingertips to the front. Feel the length from the fingers to the toes. This is very good for your back as well and your core. And now we're going to bring the hands and the knees to the floor and try the other side. So extend the left hand, thumb is up, right toes to the back of the mat, and then extend the leg up. Extended table, other side. You're looking at your right thumb on the floor. Feel the shoulders pulling away from the ears. Tune into your breath. If you feel shaky, just embrace the shakiness. It's really good for the core, the back, the tissue of the body, the muscles. Now we're going to bring the hands and the knees back to the floor. Now we're going to separate our knees, and your feet are going to slide together. And we're sliding to Balasana, child's pose. So slide your hips towards your heels, your belly to between your thighs, your head to the mat. And just let your arms hang out gently in front of you. And just feel that nice stretch in the back and the knees and the hips. Maybe use your palms to push your hips back towards your heels. And remember, in any yoga class, especially beginner, you can take as many child's poses if you'd like. You just hang out here. It's a great stretch for every part of the body. It's a very safe place. Take another deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to slowly transition out of our child's pose. We're going to tuck our back toes under. Now we're going to go to Adho Mukha Savasana, downward facing dog. So you're going to lift your hips. And then when you come up, you're like an upside down V, and you're going to walk your feet. You're going to pedal them out, walk your dog, move through the hips, move all the way through the bottoms of the feet. So downward dog is also considered a resting pose. So draw those hips back, draw the shoulder blades away from the ears. Pressing into the fingertips and the palms. Sometimes it takes getting used to this posture. You should never feel it in your low back. So really soften or bend those knees. Maybe rise up on the toes, back into the heels. And then from here, we're going to walk our feet as far forward to the front of the mat as you can, and you're going to find your forward fold. When you come here, just hold on to the elbows and maybe a sway side to side. Let your head hang heavy. And then find your Uttasana, your forward fold. And then hands on the shins, lengthen through the arms, flatten the back. Nice inhale. And then exhale, forward fold. And we're going to soften or bend the knees. And then inhale, rise all the way up. Slight back bend. Exhale, palms to heart space. And just press those palms together. Relax those shoulders. Maybe close your eyes for a moment. And feel your body. You're off the floor. You're nice and tall. You're feeling each area of the foot, both feet pressing into the earth. Find your breath. Feel your shoulders relax a little more. Feel the connection from the bottoms of your feet, connecting to the earth, all the way up the legs, up the spine, to the crown of the head, to the sky. Take a deep breath in. Press the palms together up over the head. And then exhale, both hands out to the side. And just let the hands rest next to you, finding your mountain, Tadasana. Shoulders relaxed. Now, when you take a look at your feet, make sure your toes are both pointing forward to the front of your mat. And there's maybe about 1 fist distance between your feet. So find that center, and then open up the palms, soften the knees, and find your mountain. Nice and tall. Take both hands, reach them up overhead, and then exhale the shoulders down into place. Softening the knees. If you have any shoulder issues, feel free to take a variation. And side bend to your right, gently pressing your left and right arch of your foot into the floor. Feel that nice stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the other side, reaching it over. And then on your next inhale, rise up. Let's try the right side again. Leaning over. This time, turn your right palm down. Bring your right hand to the right thigh and slide a little deeper. So you have the hand for support. And again, just notice what's going on in that right and left knee and the ankle. Take a deep breath in and out. On your next inhale, we'll rise up. Both arms come up. Relax the shoulders, exhale them out, and then side bend to your left. Turn your left palm down, bring it next to your thigh. For support, side lean a little further, side bending. Notice the arches of your feet, the knees. Notice the tension, and maybe you feel it up into the hip, the rib cage. Being sure you're breathing. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. And then slowly coming up, reach both arms up, a little bit taller, and then exhale, turn the palms down, let the arms float, and then bring the hands together behind the back. So now the hands behind the back, you're going to gently press the palms together, chest expansion. And you can feel the arms pulling away from the body, making sure your chin doesn't go forward, keeping it in alignment. And just breathe here. Feel what's going on in the chest, the shoulders, knees soft. Now, if you would like to add a forward fold here, you can. If you have any back issues going on, I recommend not going to a forward fold, but you can. Your palms come apart, but your hands stay interlaced, and you lower your head towards your knees and your arms to the sky. Keep a little micro bend in those knees. And then on your next inhale, slowly coming up, take your time. And when you come up, your hands come down and go ahead and release. And just let them sway front to back, forward and back. Feel that nice whoosh. All right, if you are not at the front of your mat, go ahead and move forward to the front of your mat. And again, check in with the toes. They're facing front, 1 fist distance between. Take a deep breath in, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, swan dive. Reaching down to the floor, and then we inhale, half lift, lengthen and flatten the back. Exhale, fold, soften or bend the knees. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms to heart space. Finding your mountain. You're going to keep your right leg forward, and you're going to take your left foot. We're going to step it back. We're finding our warrior one. So there's a slight angle, hips are forward, draw those arms up. Vyadrasana 1, warrior 1. One of your basic yoga poses. Now, option for the arms, you can have them cactus arms, you can have hands at the heart space, you can have them straight up. You can even have the palms together and the biceps pressing into the ears. Now again, you go where you feel comfortable with your shoulders. You should never feel your low back in warrior 1. So listen to the body. Notice what the hips are doing. You might feel quite the stretch in the left hip flexor. Bending into that front knee, making sure the knee is over the ankle, not the toe. One more breath. And then we'll bring the palms to heart space if they're not there. And then we're going to lean forward. You're going to take a big step forward and find your mountain again. Very basic, but you can probably feel a difference on that left side already. So let's try the right side. So take the right foot back, a big step back. Because you want to find your balance, draw those arms up to the sky. Think of opening up your body. And finding your breath. And again, option to press your palms together. Pressing that left knee forward, pressing into the outer edge of your right foot. Notice the difference on this right hip flexor. If it's tighter, notice your back. We don't want pain in that low back, so find your breath. One more breath. And then we'll bring the palms to heart space. Slightly lean forward, peel your back heel off the floor. Use your core strength, your leg strength to take a big step forward. Find your mountain. And as you stand tall in your mountain, think about a sponge. Like if you were to squeeze a sponge, let all the water out, and then rehydrate it. That's what we're doing for the body today. So every time you get into that lengthening, that stretching, think of that sponge being squeezed and rehydrated. So let's try go to Vyadrasana 2. Warrior 2, left foot back. So right foot stays solid. You're going to take a big step back, bigger this time with your left, and turn it out to the side of your mat. And bend into that front knee and extend. So imagine your hips, shoulders facing the side of your mat, your arms to the front and back of the mat. Look over your right fingertips. And now look at your right big toe. Make sure you can see the toe, and that your knee is pressing forward towards the pinky toe on your right foot. Open up that chest, looking forward, breathing into it. Now we're going to get a little wild and crazy here. We're going to extend those arms straight up, straighten the arm, straighten the legs. Turn your right foot towards the side of your mat, and then bend the elbows and open up to cactus arms. Feel the back shoulder blades pulling together. Feel the chest heart opening. Bring your palms together to heart space. Good. Now turn your heels in slightly. So there's a little out turn of your toes. Extend the arms out wide. We're in star. You're a star. We're going to bend the elbows, bend the knees. Lower down to goddess. So find those knees pushing towards your pinky toes, not collapsing in, but opening up. Good. Go as low as you feel comfortable. And remember that sponge I was talking about? Well, wherever you feel a little bit of tension or tightness, think of that. Never forcing it though. Inhale to star. Good. And exhale, palms to heart space. Rotate your right toe to the back of the mat, front of the mat, and then bend into that right knee again. Find your warrior 2. Pivot your back heel out just slightly. So your feet are like an L. Look over those front fingertips. Notice it might be a little easier to get into it the second time. So let's add to our Adding a little challenge, windmill both arms to the floor towards that front right knee, and then bring that left foot forward and find your forward fold. And then we're going to inhale, half lift, exhale, fold, bend the knees, inhale, rise. And remember, you can always use blocks. Exhale, palms to heart space. We're going to open to mountain. Relax your shoulders. Notice your posture, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And always look at those toes. Make sure those toes are pointing to the front. Now we're going to take our right foot back. We're going to take a big step, Vajrasana 2. Bending into your left leg. Rotate those shoulders and hips to the left side of your mat, or right side of your mat, excuse me. Right foot is back. Extend the arms to the front and back. Open up that heart. Look over those left fingertips and then look down at your big toe. Make sure you can see it and that your knee is pushing to the pinky. Find your breath. Let's see if you can get a little lower. One side might be easier than the other. Now you're going to straighten out the arms overhead, straighten out the legs. Turn your toes to the outside of the mats, so sideways at a little angle. Find your star, just like we did on the other side. So your toes are a little bit turned out, and then you're going to bend your arms and find your cactus arms. Now you know what we're doing, so you're going to bend those knees, lower down. The goddess, your feet are nice and wide. Soften your toes so they're not digging into the mat. Knees are pushing toward your pinky toes, not collapsing in. And then inhale, back to star. And then bring your palms to heart space. Turn your left foot to the front of the mat. Bend your left knee, extend back to your warrior 2. Opening it up. Find your breath. Good. Windmill both hands back to the floor. And then big step forward, forward fold. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. All the way up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Find your mountain. So from here, staying where you are, we're going to be moving to a balance posture. So hints for balance, you can have a chair, a wall by you. If you want to step off of your mat for better balance, you are welcome to. So we're going to, again, stay with some basic beginner balance postures. Sometimes balance just doesn't feel beginner at any level, so do the best that you can. We're going to ground into our right foot, and then we're going to open up the left knee. We're going to go to tree pose, lengthen through the spine. Maybe this is plenty for you. Maybe you can bring your toe off the floor. Maybe you can bring your foot to your calf. We don't ever put the foot into the knee, but you can always go above the knee and put it into the foot into the bottom, back to the side of your calf. Option to bring the palms together, and option to reach the arms overhead together or apart. Anything that works for you. And again, you can always be holding onto a chair. Find your dristi, which is a non-moving focal point. And just breathe. Embrace the shakiness. We're just going to hold it here. One more breath. And then we'll bring the palms to heart space. And then we will bring the knee away, foot away from the leg and bring it to the floor. And just give it a shake. Sometimes we feel like we need to shake off that tension from our balance posture. So let's just dive right into the left side. So ground into that left foot. Turn that right knee open. Again, heel off the floor, maybe touching the calf or the ankle. Maybe into the calf, the whole foot, or above the knee, just not putting pressure on the knee. If you're putting it on the thigh, push your thigh into the foot, foot into the thigh. Palms can be at heart space. You can grow your tree, find your dristi, or you can open the hands and breathe. One more breath. And you might even find that one side is easier than the other. And then we slowly release the palms. all the way down, bring the knee forward, and bring the feet to the floor. It's amazing how a solid floor feels so good. So shake it out. All right, and then we're going to, again, if you've moved off your mat, go ahead and come back to your mat, facing the front, toes forward. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead, and then exhale, forward fold, swan dive, all the way to the floor. Inhale, rise one more time. Exhale, palms to heart space. Find your mountain. Now we're going to add those two together, our warrior one and warrior two. So take your left foot back, right foot stays solid. So left foot back, find your warrior one. Drawing back into it. Very basic beginner posture, but you can make this all levels. So this can be an advanced posture depending on how deep you go and what you do with your arms. As long as you're finding comfort, feeling, remember that sponge and rehydrate. Lengthen and lift. One more breath. Then we're going to turn our warrior one into warrior two by extending the arms, rotate the body sideways, take a bigger step back with that left foot and open up. Make sure you can see your big toe on the right and breathe. Look over those right fingertips. Maybe you can sink a little deeper into it. Go ahead and move the legs if you need to. Find your breath. Let's bring the palms to heart space. Twist the upper body to the front. Bring your fingertips to the floor. Take your left foot. Bring it forward to your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms to heart space. Right foot back, warrior one. We're going to the other side. Stepping back, drawing those palms up and either open or you can bring them together. This is your moment to play and in your posture. What feels good to you? It might be challenging your balance. Make sure you can feel and notice your breath as it comes in and out through the nose. Now let's turn our warrior one into warrior two. Take a bigger step back, open things up, extending the arms front and back of the mat, and notice that your shoulders relax and bend into that left knee. And look over those left fingertips. And breathe. And again, noticing the difference. One side might be different than the other. We never force the stretch. Just care about your body. Notice if your heart is beating a little faster maybe. Maybe you're challenging yourself. Your toes are relaxed, not digging into the floor. Bring your palms to heart space. And then pivot your upper body forward. Go ahead and bring both hands to the floor. Now from here, you're going to actually take your left foot and step it back to a plank. So you're on your hands and your toes in a full plank. Now, variation of this plank would be to bring your knees gently to the floor if you would like a little support. This, again, very good for the core. Take a deep breath in. And again, feel free. Let's all go to the knees. And then bend your elbows and start to bring your elbows into your rib cage for chaturanga. So no sticking the butt in the air. You want to start to lower down, use the upper body strength. Slowly lowering to your belly. And then when you get to your belly, go and untuck your toes. And then bring your hands forward so you can slide your elbows underneath your shoulders. So you're coming to Sphinx pose, pressing your palms into the mat and your forearms like you're going to drag yourself forward. Looking forward out in front of you, lengthening through the spine, including the neck. And now breathe. Now if you feel any pinching in that low back, you can lower down slightly, but I really want you to try to pretend like you're dragging yourself forward. Pretend like I'm just going to assist, holding onto the feet, pulling back so you really lengthen through the body, especially the front of the body. Sometimes we just get so forward folded because of our daily life, sitting at a desk, working at computers, looking forward, finding your breath. One more time. And now from here, we're going to slide the elbows out. Go ahead and stack your hands and bring your forehead on top of your hands. And just feel the length of your back, the spine. Notice your belly as it pushes into the mat as you breathe in, as it pulls into the low back as you exhale. Now we're going to do one more for the low back to help strengthen it. And again, if you feel any pain, then I want you to modify or add a different variation that doesn't hurt. So your forehead's going to stay facing the mat, but it's not going to be on the mat. It's just going to be facing the mat. You're sliding your hands out from under your forehead and reaching back towards your feet, palms up. So feel the shoulders pulling away from the ears. Feel the neck lengthening. And then start to lift the upper body as your arms reach up and back towards your feet. Option to lift your feet up for locust. This is a variation of Superman that you probably did in like junior high. And find your breath. And again, you don't want pain in the low back. You might feel warmth because it's working. And then very gently lower the feet, slide the hands forward, bring the palms on top of each other and forehead to the palms, or at the back of the hands. And breathe. One more breath. Now from here, you're going to take your hands next to the rib cage. Get to use your strength to press yourself up. Slide back to child's pose. So knees apart, feet together, just like we did at the beginning. Slide your belly between your thighs, your forehead towards the mat, arms out front. If you want a little more, you can walk your hands together, maybe hook the thumbs for a little extra shoulder stretch. You can even bring your palms all the way together and bring your thumbs towards your neck and your elbows stay on the floor for a tricep stretch. Again, optional. And whenever you're on your knees in yoga, you can always use a pillow, a pad, a blanket for your knees if needed. Now, if the hands are together, we're going to bring them down, bring them back onto the mat. And then you're slowly going to come up out of your child's pose, and you can either cross your feet or bring them to the side. And we're going to come to Dandasana, a staff or stick pose, extending the legs out in front again. Reaching them out, and this time both legs are out, feet are flexed. We're going to lengthen and lift. Feel the belly like someone is pushing your low back forward and your belly forward. And then reach both arms up to the sky. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, forward fold, reaching for those toes. Now when you come over to the toes, lengthen through the spine. We're not collapsing. And if you can't reach your feet, no big deal. Maybe you can grab hold of the big toes with the first two fingers and just give your knees a shake. Shake, shake. Shake it out. And then breathe in, feel the shoulders pulling gently down, away from the ears. Maybe bend the elbows slightly. And just let your body adapt. You can always use a towel, a yoga strap, a belt to hold on to the feet. See if you can melt a little deeper. Again, head is at a straight angle, neck is in alignment. Some of you might be able to wrap your hands over your feet or just hold the ankles or even just the knees. That's fine as well. But we're keeping a nice tall spine because you want to be mindful of the low back. If you have any degenerative discs or bulging discs or herniated discs, you don't want to exacerbate them. So I also have a bulging disc, so I'm just mindful to keep my back straight. When I round, and you might feel it too, I can feel more of like a sciatic issue going down the glute and the leg. So this way we're more stretching the hamstrings and the calves instead of just getting into that upper back and the nerves in that low back. One more breath. It's amazing how the tension starts to drain out as you hold those stretches. Shake out those knees. And now let's slowly release the feet, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, and then exhale the arms down by your body. Right there on the floor, hands on the floor. Sit up as tall as you can and flex the feet. So the legs are apart, and maybe pull your heels off the floor if it's doable, no forcing it. And then let those legs relax. Give them a wiggle. Now you're going to scoot your hips forward so you have room behind you to lay back when we get there. Heels on the floor, backs of the hands on the thighs. And again, lengthen through that spine so you're sitting on the sits bones, and then start to hinge back until you start to feel that core starting to engage, but not fit. Don't want any pain in that low back. It's all about the core here. Option to let go. Option to hold and float the legs off the floor, or even to let go with the legs up. You got 4 options there, 4 variations of boat pose. You can even bring the feet and knees together. You can even straighten the legs and just breathe. So you might feel some shakiness, the hip flexor working, the core is working. Maybe you keep your knees bent, maybe you're holding on. It's about what feels good to your body, what your body's like yes or no to. One more breath. Now we're going to try to hold the knees without touching the feet on the floor. Give them a little squeeze. See if you can wrap your hands tighter around. You can hold the wrist, forearms, or elbows. And then you're going to let your knees go, put your heels on the floor, and slowly roll yourself all the way back down onto the floor. Now when you get down on the floor, we're going to walk the feet towards the hips, and you're going to reach your fingertips towards your ankles or your heels. And just hang out here on the floor for a moment and notice the knees in alignment with the hips. Try not to let them rock open. And then you're going to push into the floor with your feet and lift your hips to a bridge. So just notice when you lift to the bridge how that back is. You're trying to lengthen, not arch. And you want your hip flexors, you might feel a stretch in the knees to be in alignment, not falling open. Fingertips are reaching to your ankles or your heels. Toes are soft. Let's slowly walk the one vertebrae at a time all the way back to the floor, bringing those hips down. Maybe a little lift of the low back, and then rock the low back onto the floor. Little pelvic tilt up and down. Again, very good for the back. Rock and roll. And then on the next time, you're going to slowly push your low back down and then lift your hips again. One vertebrae at a time, lifting back to bridge. Drawing the knees in. Option to interlace the fingers and reach them towards your feet, or even walk your shoulders underneath. And again, if your body's up for that. Listen to your body. One more breath. And then you're going to take your hands up, unlace the fingers, rock your shoulders out, lower your hips to the floor. And then we're going to bring the arms out. You're going to find your cactus arms. We've practiced those a few times standing. So the backs of your hands are on the floor, elbows are bent, feet and knees still about hip distance apart. And then you're going to drop both knees to your right. Nice twist. But keep your left shoulder on the floor, and you can look to the left. Just enjoy that nice twist. If you have a variation of this that you like, feel free to do that. And just notice your breath. Notice your body, the calmness taking over. One more breath. And then let your head come back to neutral first. Gently let your knees come back to center and drift to the left as your head turns to the right. And again, just notice the difference. One side might feel completely different than the other. Continue breathing. That's the important part, that you're breathing. One more breath. And then your head will turn back to neutral, Knees come back to center. Push your low back into the mat, and then let's hug the knees into the chest. Again, reaching for the wrist, forearms, or elbows. Bring your nose to your knees for your inhale, and then exhale the head back to the floor. And go ahead and continue holding on to the right knee as the left leg goes to the front of the mat. Flexing both feet. Holding on to the right knee with your left hand. Pull that right leg over to the left side. Reach your right arm all the way out as far as it can go. Find your breath. That right shoulder stays on the floor. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, we'll come back to center. Go ahead and hug your left knee into your chest. And take your right leg, extend it all the way out. And just notice the shift, the change in the hip and the hip flexor. You're going to take your right hand over the left knee or shin. And then pull the left to the right. Reach your right arm out, left arm out. I'm getting my right and left mixed up now. And just relax. So you're just twisting the opposite way that we just did. Left shoulder stays down on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Feel the body relax. And then slowly coming back to center. Bring the knee into the chest. Let the right leg come in to meet it. And then we're going to find what we call happy baby, Ananda Balasana. And you're going to bend your knees. Your knees are going wide out to the side, heels towards the sky. Holding on to either the big toes, the outside of the feet. You can even hold on to the thighs, or you can wrap the hands on the inside of the thighs, reaching out to the outside of the toes, and rock side to side. Go ahead and find your center, press your tailbone to the earth, and then very slowly release the legs. Give them one last squeeze into the chest, and let them drift back down to the floor. Go ahead and extend your legs out to the front of the mat and let them fall open. And then you're going to walk your shoulder blades apart and down away from the ears. Turn your palms up and then just close your eyes. Find your Shavasana. Find your breath. See if you can make your breath a little longer, a little deeper, a little more gentle on the inhale and the exhale. Really slowing your breath down. Notice if you're clenching your jaw or your teeth, relax your jaw. Let your tongue relax if it's touching the top of your mouth. Thank your body for all that it's done for you so far today. And then wiggle the toes and open the fingers nice and wide. Start bringing movement to the body. And then you can roll to either side. Give your knees a squeeze. Take your time when you're ready, working your way all the way back up to a Sukhasana, an easy seat. Bringing the palms together at heart space, eyes closed, shoulders relaxed. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms out and around to the side, all the way up to the sky, touching the fingertips, exhaling back to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.